Very good morning to all of you. Today I want to explain about pile foundation chapters of module 5 session 1. Course outcome: capable of estimating load carrying capacity of single and group of piles. Subject name: applied geotechnical engineering, and its subject code is 18 CV62. It comes under 6th semester of civil engineering department. Now contents. In these presentations, introductions, types and classification of piles. Next one is single loaded pile capacity in cohesionless and cohesive soils by static formula. So these contents today I want to complete in session 1. Let us see introductions about pile and pile foundations. Generally, pile foundations are one form of a deep foundation. Piles are relatively long, slender members that are driven into the ground or cast in situ. Means piles should be casted in sides. So that's meaning is cast in situ. Piles have been used from prehistoric times. Today, pile foundations are more common than any other type of deep foundation, capably where the soil conditions are unfavorable for the use of shallow foundations. And pile foundation is more useful today's where there is a soil is weak to carry the loads to fail the buildings. Okay, to improve the foundation strength, pile foundations are required. And nowadays in metro cities, metropolitan cities, developing countries, developed country, to develop the infrastructure, pile foundations are required because it's carry the maximum loads and as well as it's carry the maximum durations in terms of stiffness as well as durables. Now I want to explain about types of piles and classification of piles. I hope all of you know generally types of piles are long piles, short piles, laterally loaded piles, axially loaded piles, inclined or battered piles, fender piles, under rimmed piles. Okay, so these are the types of piles we have seen nowadays to design the foundations. So based on the availability of materials, based on the design loads, these types of piles are decided to use in the foundations. Now piles are classified based on function or its accents. End bearing piles. The end bearing piles is nothing but the load is transferred through the pile tip to a suitable bearing statums is called end bearing piles. Friction piles. The load is transferred through a depth by skin friction along the surface area of the piles is called as a friction piles. Another types of piles, tension or uplift piles, means used to anchor structures. These type of piles are used to anchor structures subjected to uplift due to hydrostatic pressure or overturning movements due to horizontal forces. So these tension piles or uplift piles are used in coastal areas. Okay, next, compaction piles. Compaction piles is used to compact loose granular soils in order to increase the bearing capacity. A sand pile is used for this type as it need not carry loads. This is the meaning of compaction piles. Next pile is classified as a anchor piles. Anchor piles are used to provide anchorage against horizontal pulls. Okay, this is called as a anchor piles. Next, fender piles. These piles are used to protect waterfront structures against impact from ships or floating objects. Fender piles are used to protect waterfront structures against impact from ships or other floating objects. Next piles are sheet piles. So these are the more used piles nowadays. Okay, where these piles are used, commonly used as bulkheads or cutoff to reduce seepage and uplift in hydrostatic structures. Sheet piles are commonly nowadays used as bulkheads or cutoff to reduce the seepage and uplift in hydraulic structures. These sheet piles are used. Next, piles are classified as batter piles. Okay. Batter piles are used to resist horizontal and inclined forces. Batter piles are used to resist horizontal and inclined forces. Especially in waterfront structures, these piles are used. Next, piles, laterally loaded piles. So these laterally loaded piles means when loads are applied perpendicular to the axis of the piles is nothing but a laterally loaded piles, and these laterally loaded piles used to support retaining walls, bridges and dams, and as fenders in docks and harbors, as well as multi-story buildings, transmission line towers, high-rise buildings. Laterally loaded piles are used. Next, piles are classified based on composition and materials. Piles are classified based on composition and materials. That is timber pile. Timber piles are nowadays also used in hilly areas. Timber of sound quality is used. Timber piles perform well in either fully dry condition or submerged conditions. Next, piles, steel piles. These are usually edge piles, pipe piles or sheet piles. Okay, so that sheet piles are rolled section of regular shapes are used. Next, concrete piles. They may be precast or cast in situ. They may be precast or cast in situ. Precast piles are invariably reinforced. Cast in situ piles are installed by pre-excavation. The common types are Raymond pile, MacArthur pile and Franke piles. So these are the common type of piles used in cast in situ piles. Next pile is composite piles. These are made of either concrete and timber or concrete and steels. These are made of either concrete and timber or concrete and steel. They are used when part of the pile is submerged under waters. So in this case, composite piles are used. Next, piles are classified based on installation. Dry-won piles, cast in situ piles, dry-won and cast in situ piles. So these are the three types of piles are classified based on installations. Okay. Next, dry-won piles, timber, steel or precast concrete piles are driven into positions by using pile driving equipments. Dry-won piles are used by using timber, steel or precast concrete materials. Cast in situ piles. Only concrete piles can be cast in situ. Piles are drilled and filled with concrete. Reinforcements can be added according to requirements in the site. Next, dry-won and cast in situ piles. These are a combination of both dry-won and cast in situ piles. Here, casing or shell may be used. The Franke pile falls in this category. Next part, I want to explain about single loaded pile capacity in cohesionless and cohesive soils by static formula. Okay. Now all of you know pile capacity. What do you mean by pile capacity? The ultimate bearing capacity of a pile is the maximum load it can carry without any shear failure or excessive settlements. It is called pile capacity. The bearing capacity of a pile depends primarily on the type of soil through which it passes and which it rests and on the method of installation. It also depends upon the cross section and length of the piles. Is explained about pile capacity. Okay. Next, there are so many methods have developed to calculate pile capacity determinations. So in these slides, first one is static analysis, second one is dynamic analysis, third one is load tests on pile, and fourth one is penetration tests. The first two tests are analytical and the other two tests are field or practical oriented methods. Static analysis methods. So how to calculate ultimate bearing capacity by static analysis. Here the ultimate bearing capacity or bearing load of a pile, that the Q up is considered to be the sum of the end bearing and skin friction resistance, and that the equation is given based on the definition Q equal to QEB plus QSF, where QEB is the end bearing resistance in kilonewtons and QSF is the skin friction resistance is also in kilonewtons, and QEB and QSF may be analyzed separately since both are based on the state of stress around the pile and on the shear patterns that develop at failure. According to Vesic, Only punching shear failure occurs in deep foundations irrespective of the density index of the soils. So long as the depth to width ratio is greater than 4, means this is invariably so for pile foundations. The equation is given based on according to basic QEB equal to QB into AB. Next, QSF equal to FS into AS, where QEB is the end bearing resistance in kilonewton and QSF is the skin friction resistance is also in kilonewtons. QEB and QSF may be analyzed separately since both are based on the state of stress around the pile and the shear patterns that develop at failures. The general form of the equation for QB presented by various investigators is given by the equation QB equal to C NC plus 0.5 times gamma B NQ plus Q times NQ. Here C is cohesion of soil in kilonewton per meter square. NC is the Terzaghi's bearing capacity factors. Gamma is the unit weight of the soils. B is the diameter or width of the pile. N gamma is the Terzaghi's bearing capacity factor. Q is the overburden pressure and is calculated in terms of depth of the soil into unit weight of the soils, and it is expressed in terms of kilonewton per meter square. And NQ is Terzaghi's bearing capacity factors. And in these equations, Fs is the skin friction resistance and AB is the cross-sectional area of the bearings, end bearings. Okay. Next, how to calculate ultimate bearing capacity in sandy soils? For square or rectangular piles, QB equal to 0.5 times gamma B into N gamma plus Q times NQ. This is the equation for square and rectangular piles. And for circular piles with a diameter D, QB equal to 0.3 times gamma T N gamma plus Q into NQ. This is the equation for circular piles. With the driven piles, the term involving the size of the pile is invariably negligible when compared with the surcharge term. Thus, for all practical purposes, QB equal to Q into NQ. The surcharge pressure Q is given by Q equal to gamma into Z for Z is less than ZC. If Q is calculated, another equation Q equal to gamma into ZC if Z is greater than ZC, where Z is the embedded length of the pile and ZC is the critical depth in meters. Next, for clay soils. For piles in clay soils, the ultimate pile capacity is calculated is given by the following equations: QB equal to CNC plus Q. Since NQ equal to 1 and N gamma equal to 0 for phi equal to 0 degree, the value of NC ranges between 6 and 10. However, a value of 9 is taken conventionally. It is also considered that Q is not significant compared to CNC. Hence, for all practical purposes, QB equal to 9 times C are considered. The general form for the unit skin friction resistance Fs is given by Fs equal to C plus sigma tan phi. This is based on the Morse-Coulomb concept equations. So here Fs equal to Ca plus gamma sigma h into tan del, where Ca is the unit adhesion in kilonewton per meter square, sigma h is the average lateral pressure of soil against the pile in kilonewton per meter square, and del is the angle of wall friction, which depends upon the material of the pile and the condition of its surface. So based on the earlier all slide discussions, we have made multiple choice questions in these tables. There are different questions are shot out for module 1 lecture 1. Okay. Here 11 questions short ends. So here dynamic resistance of a soil is not much differ from its static resistance. Is it true or false? So answer is false. Second question, pile driving in sensitive place could resist in the reduction of resistance due to remolding. True or false? Answer is true. A pile foundation is one of the type of a dash foundations. Answer is deep foundations. Based on the mode of supporting vertical loads, piles may be classified as dash piles and dash piles. Solution is friction piles and bearing piles. Question number 5. There is a possible reduction in pile capacity through liquefaction if a pile is driven into dash. Answer is loose sand or silt. By passing a bad soil may be achieved by the use of dash piles. That is, solution is piles. A long and relatively slender member placed into a soil is called a dash. Solution is pile. A long and relatively slender member placed into a soil is called a pile. Pile foundations are generally preferred to option 1 for bridge foundations, option 2 for skyscraper buildings, option 3 for residential buildings, option 4 for runways. Option is C, that is for residential buildings. Next question, number of piles required to support a column. Number of piles required to support a column. Option 1, option 2, third option 3, fourth option 4. So solution is 3. Select the incorrect statement. Static formula are suitable for friction piles driven through cohesive soils. Second option, dynamic formula are most suitable for friction piles driven through cohesive soils. Dynamic formula are suitable for friction piles driven through cohesionless soils. Dynamic formula do not take into account the reduced bearing capacity of a pile in a quick. Option is B, that is dynamic formula are most suitable for friction piles driven through cohesive soils. Option 11. The pile capacity in foundation is controlled by structural strength of the pile, supporting strength of the pile, driving capacity of the hammer, structural strength of the pile and supporting strength of the soil. Option is D, that is structural strength of the pile and supporting strength of the soils. Thank you, $9. So here these are the references. Okay, next class I will continue.